agenda?
No additions, Mr. Chairman.
County Council, would you read the closed session into the
Yes, Chairman and members of the board, you have 3 items for today's closed session. The first is under Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with your labor negotiator, Alba Gomez, and the employee organization is all units. You also have 1 case related to anticipated litigation. There's significant exposure under Government Code Section 54956.9, and you have a conference with your legal counsel. And 1 existing litigation, BNSF Railroad Company versus Alameda County, included is Madera County. Conference with legal counsel under Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D1. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any public who would like to make comment on the closed session items? Do we know of any?
No public comment, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, with that, we will go into closed session. Did it myself. A little. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Everybody.
Anything other than this? It is so nice and tough and pretty. I can throw Brooks on my shoulders and not worry about him.
Hey, Tom, how are you? Tom. can't hear. Now, can you hear me? Hi, Jay. Max, can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you too now. I like your duck picture. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Leticia.
Good.
Good.
6 feet.
I like your duck picture, Max. Yeah. How's the family, Tom? Really good. Everybody, my grandkids. They actually came over last Saturday, the day before Easter, and I gave them their Easter shirts and my cool other Easter pods, so they had that. They've been having fun with that. So I got to see them in about a month, so seems like you're seeing them grow a foot. So oh, Leslie really takes care of you. Yep, she does. I'll tell you. Yeah, beautiful breakfasts that she gives you. And yeah, yeah, she's a great cook, and she researches cooking stuff all the time. So she's always top of it.
Oh my God, what beauty.
Tom. We're looking at someone's ceiling fan.
Good looking ceiling.
Hi, Sherry. This is Rhonda. Yes.
I see this mic shut on and off on the lectern. I can shut the lectern off. It reminds me of, I went to Sacramento and to speak on a agenda item. The assembly chairman, the leader of that committee, and Frank Bigelow sat on that committee. He kept shutting the mic off on me. He'd shut the mic off. I'd start to speak, and he'd shut the mic off on me. He said, "Do you understand me?" And I'm like, "No, I don't understand why you're muzzling the people of my district with whom I came to speak on behalf of."
Hi, good morning. This is Veronica at MCH. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me turn the video on, see if you guys can see us.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hi, this is Rhonda. I have a call-in user. Could you identify yourself? Hello, do I have someone that just called in?
No, I already introduced. It says my name here.
Hi, may I ask who our call-in user is?
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi.
Veronica is logged in. Yeah, no, I already told her. Yeah, because it
Veronica?
says call in, but mine says V. Stevens. So can I see her mouth here over there? Change your mind?
I'm sorry, who is the call-in user?
Yeah, they can see us right here. See, it says, on the
It
bottom.
says call in user 2.
Right, I'm trying to identify who our call-in user 2 is. Sherry, can you see the board chambers now? We can.
Okay, cool. You guys can see that, right?
Right, I need to somehow make them big. I guess they'll get big when they talk. The hospital. I mean, there's no way we can make just her big, right? Oh, I want to make them. Maybe when they. talking. Probably just. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's do this. Sherry, we need to make sure your audio works. Could you please have someone start talking? Sherry, can you hear me? Okay. Mm-hmm. Hi, Sherry, are you on the phone and then we're just seeing your video on the WebEx?
Yes.
What
Oh.
is it?
Okay.
Do you hear me okay?
We can hear you, but we're not able to get, so what we have, because you're on the phone, all we get is a picture of the phone and we just have a tiny picture of you in your room with the doctors.
Can we not use the phone and just log in via the WebEx?
Hold on, we're
Oh,
going
I
to see
think
if
she
there's
just-
something else we can do.
I don't think this has a microphone, so I don't think they would be able to hear anything if we don't use. These computers don't, right? Nope, they don't. Well, so, Rhonda, we're doing things the same way we did on Friday when we tested. Yeah, I'm not sure why.
I mean, as long as we can hear, I mean, even though they look really tiny in the picture, I don't think that really matters, as long as we can hear and they can hear us.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Okay, Chairman,
You ready to rock?
we are ready.
Okay, we have returned from closed session. County Council, are there any items to report from closed session?
Chairman, there are no reportable actions from today's closed session.
Okay. At this time, we will open and close in memory of, and Tom, you have two people.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. The first one is Paul Barron. He's about the same age as my son. I'm not sure what he passed away from, but passed away this weekend. And he's a young man with great kids. Stuff. It's just a bummer. His mom, Jerry, works at the theater up in Oakhurst all the time. She was one of the can dancers for 100 years. So we kind of grew up together. His parents and my parents were very good friends, and they're all still alive too. His parents, both mom and dad, buddy. And the other one was one of our past sheriffs, Orville Berkeley. His wife Maxine passed away Saturday morning, I think, or Friday evening or Saturday evening. And a great lady. She was his backbone, I think. She had an aneurysm, I guess, and he found her passed out on the floor and took her to the hospital, but she didn't make it. But she was a great lady, Maxine Berkeley. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Two good people.
Brett, you have a person.
Yes, I wanted to open and close in memory of the young woman that was killed last week, Megan Olson. She worked for me for 8 years. She was my manager at Papa Murphy's.
I can't hear you, Brett.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Megan Olson, she worked for me for 8 years as my manager at Papa Murphy's. Just a very happy, always kind, talkative, just wonderful mother, good friend. Just want to keep her two little ones, Riley and Zach, who was only 1 month old, in our prayers. And I think it's just an important time to take and think about, what this is doing and the effects of domestic violence, what it can do to a family, what it does to everybody. It's not okay anytime. If people are out there that need help, we have services here at the county that can help you get out of those situations. And it's just unthinkable to me.
It is.
It really is, I'll tell you. Sad, sad.
I had that happen to a close friend years ago, and very traumatic. I also want to open and close in memory of Ginger Govette, who was she was the president of the Board of Realtors recently, and she passed away from cancer this last week. So we will miss her. She was a very, very bright and kind-hearted, warm person, and just think of all the things she had done for me personally. Support, her friendship meant so much, and she also attended church at where I do. So she will truly be missed. What a wonderful person she really was. So we'll think of all these people. We enter into the opening of this meeting. With that, we'll stand together and we'll open this meeting with the invocation. Then I'll ask Brett if he'll lead us in the flag salute. So let's bow our heads. Father, as we approach you this morning, as the sun came up this morning, just reminded each of us, days come and they go. You remain the same. Mercies endure forever. They are new every morning. Thank you for all your blessings upon us. I pray for courage and strength for each one who needs it today, coming days. I pray for your provision for all of us. Give our leaders the wisdom to know what is necessary and right for our betterment. And I pray especially now, Lord, that if it's your divine will, you would remove this scourge from our land. And I pray for those young men and women who are on foreign fields of battle, standing on the wall, watching where we couldn't be. And thank you for their courage. Thank you for their endurance and for their willing sacrifice for our country, that we might stand as a beacon of liberty for the world. Give us wisdom in our deliberations. Bless our county as we go forward in Jesus' name. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, there we go. Last week I had to share with you, and I had a moment's lapse of memory there. Who I asked to do it. Thank you. Okay. Public comment.
I got one, if it's okay.
We got one ahead of you, and we're going to have her read that. Go ahead.
Yes,
Okay.
public comment. I'm reading an email. My name is Kim Hickman. I have owned a paw spa, grooming by Kim, for just over 9 years here in Chowchilla. I'm requesting for my business to be open once again to provide a much-needed service to our community pets. Nearly as essential as medical care for pets is the health and hygiene of the animals with whom we live. If a dog's nails grow too long, it can cause pain due to toes being pushed into improper position when walking. Overgrown nails can grow into tangle with each other and often grow into paw pads, sometimes requiring medical care to correct and treat resulting infection. And left too long, these issues can cause permanent damage to the dog's feet. Dogs with allergies often need bathing on a regular basis, some as often as weekly, to prevent severe itching and discomfort. 70% of pet owners in my current database are senior citizens and unable to bathe their pets themselves. Dirty matted coats are not only unhygienic for animals and the people who live with them, but matting restricts airflow to the skin and often causes sores and encourages the growth of bacteria on the skin. Severe mats can even restrict the animal's movement and constrict toes and even legs. I've been informed by Rod Pruitt, City Director of Chowchilla, that Sarah Boss, Department of Madera County Public Health, has deemed pet grooming non-essential, therefore denying the opportunity to open my business. I ask you to review the information below and consider allowing pet groomers to open with social distancing guidelines in Madera County. She attached a photo snapshot of an email from Madera County Administration Office that states, per our conversation, your business can be considered essential only if you can implement social distancing at your business, especially customers drop off and pick up their pets. You would need to monitor employees and provide some type of face covering. You may ask why I contacted this department instead of Madera County Department of Health. By searching online for info from COVID-19 in Madera County, I was prompted to call 311 for questions. This is the department I reached when calling 311. Had I known to contact Miss Sarah Boss directly, I would have certainly done so. I know there are procedures that can be implemented that will keep us safe while providing an essential service to our companions. My employees and I are accustomed to working in an environment in which we frequently clean and disinfect. The disinfecting products that we commonly use are EPA verified as effective against coronaviruses, including COVID-19. Frequent hand washing and disinfecting are already regular parts of our daily lives, and social distancing from our human clients is readily manageable with simple changes to how we exchange custody of our animal clients. My employees and I are prepared and qualified to adapt to operating safely by using extra precautions in the current pandemic. We will wear proper face covering, provide curbside drop-off and pickup, use our own disposable lead, and have pet owners keep their pets in collar leash.
Thank you for that public comment. Sheriff?
Sheriff Hardy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The POS ball is located within the city of Chowchilla. They've taken their own action to restrict non-essential businesses. There's had a number of, as noted in the email, conversations back and forth with either Rod or with Kim about how they would be able to open once the governor determines the non-essential businesses can reopen. The Madera County Health Department has not deemed their business non-essential. The governor's order does. They are not actually a pet store. I know that the chief of police in Chowchilla has also done some follow-up with other pet stores in Madera County, and some are and some are not doing pet grooming right now. Certainly, as soon as the governor lifts his ban on non-essential businesses, we've already worked with her to be able to reopen her business. And
thank you, Jay, for answering that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Okay, Tom.
Yeah, and I agree with that woman both. My dogs, I had to have a boat clip about 2 weeks ago. If I don't, they get those stickers in them, and it's misery because it goes right in their skin. So they have to be clipped. So
Yeah,
I took them in. And,
too.
but the other thing is that last week I forgot to ask them, Fresno Bee, they said that Fresno received over $3 million for federal funding for housing homeless during this pandemic, and we had some of that money too in Madera County, but it just says Madera County gets part of that money, and I haven't heard anything about what we have. I know it's on the agenda. We can talk about it later on Jay, but I just wondering if we are getting any places besides the one that's on our agenda. So then the other thing is I came down yesterday to get my iPad updated so I could do this on my iPad today. And on my desk was the 2019 annual report from Madera County CAL FIRE.
Right.
I don't know if you guys haven't looked at it.
Yeah.
It is absolutely great. I'm so happy they did this. I can use this so much when I'm talking to people about our fire stations, our firefighters, our volunteers, the replacement program we're doing and everything. I want to thank everyone who had anything part with this, making it. Matt probably did. And I just appreciate it. It's a good thing for each one of us to have if somebody says anything about our fire department.
Very, very good report. Very good report. Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Do you have any?
No
Okay.
more. No further public comments.
Okay, no
sir.
further public comment. At this time, we'll go to the consent calendar. Any questions on the consent calendar?
Yeah, I just got 3 of them, B, F, and A.
Okay, go ahead.
B, thing is, I understand it. I understand what we're doing and stuff. But maybe it's a new iPad. Maybe it's me. I couldn't get it to open the backup for those items. for a couple, three of them, it would open the first page, but if it's more than one page, it wouldn't go to page 2, 3, or 4 or whatever. So I guess this is good for the year 2020. So and then on item F, that pitch down there that we're doing, it really baffles me that most of our bids I thought were coming in the last couple of years at a decent price. This thing is $623,943 over the estimate, and that's 49.9% over the thing. I just wonder if a modern anybody can answer that. How come so high? And the other thing, I got a call from Carl Jansen, who was on the WMG board with me, and saying that we don't want to get in that situation with water, because at the end of May there'll be water be going in that canal and in that in the creek, whatever you want to call that, and they won't be it won't be running on the first of August. So we want to make sure that this contractor there's going to be water in there for those pumps, because we can't just stop the water. You gotta have it.
Okay, we got Jared Carter at the mic to answer questions on item F. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board, Supervisor Wheeler. Yeah, the bid did come in over, and we actually are seeing prices go up on materials, particularly, especially on things that are structures, because the cost of steel and things like that are going up. There's speculation on why that is. It could be things related to our relationship with China, but needless to say, this cost did come above, and we did go back and get funds through Caltrans through the bridge program to get funds to cover it. In terms of the water flows, we actually did just get an update this morning from MID to verify the timing, and they are still trying to decide the exact schedule, but the indication they've given us is that they expect to start flowing water in June, and it will flow most likely to the end of September. So again, we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we're working in the creek and then water start coming and we have to pull out and get stuff out. So
That's right. I don't want to get it started. I don't want to start in the middle and then have to wait for that to stop. So they've got to figure out what kind of plan we're going to do it. That's the other question I was going to ask, is where that extra funding coming from? People going out and getting it.
Yeah, you got his answer right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Okay, and did you have one more?
Yeah, I had one more. I'm sorry. I got to turn my page here. Jay, I think, will be still there. He made a contract with the hotel, and I was just wondering if he's got any set up for an Oakers. I know I had 2 or 3 of them. I gave his names up that they wanted to be part of this. If we needed any help here, and I just wondered where the progress is on that.
So we have identified a hotel that will work with us in the same way as the Casa Grande in the mountains, Tom, but right now we don't have the demand to need to place anybody up there. At the point where we do get someone who's COVID positive that we need to place in the mountains, we'll go ahead and enter into that contract with that hotel.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I know you started, but I had never heard anything, whether we went further. So
a large number of the hotels. A large number of the hotels got very cold feet when we actually had to start placing people. So we have done at least a second, if not a third round, and we do have a hotel identified up there that is willing to work with us. However, we don't actually need them just yet. Hopefully, we won't need them at all.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully. Pray to God.
Any public comment on the consent calendar? Do we have
Move to approve.
Second.
motion made and second, and we had no public to speak on the consent calendar, noting that. Let's vote.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
His mic's off.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Thank you. Vote passes 5-0.
Okay, let's go to public session. 6A.
Public session, Board of Supervisors Department, District Number 3. Presentation via WebEx of certificates of recognition to Madera Community Hospital obstetrics and gynecology physicians, Dr. Jennifer Ng, Jonathan Mayers, and Charles Oju for being awarded 2019 Maternity Honor Roll for the second year in a row.
All right, Rob?
All right, very good. Well, thank you, everybody, and it's my great honor to recognize Madera Community Hospital for being on the 2019 Maternity Honor Roll. What that means, it's kind of like, okay, what's the Maternity Honor Roll for? What does that mean? Well, it's to have surpassed the state target for reducing C-section rates for low-risk first births to 23.9% and under. So, we know that in a lot of cases, C-sections are necessary. They're lifesavers in certain conditions, and we know a lot of people that have had them. But there has been in recent years a overuse of C-sections where they're not necessary. For instance, for mothers with the overuse of C-sections, that can result in higher rates of complications like hemorrhage, transfusions, infection, and blood clots. It also brings risks for babies, including higher rates of infection, respiratory complications, neonatal intensive care unit stays, and lower breastfeeding rates. So this is something that the California Maternity Quality Care Collaborative and the Cal Hospital organizations have worked hard to reduce the number of C-sections where they're not necessary. So they formed this honor roll status over the last 4 years. There's 235 hospitals that offer maternity services in California, and 134 of those hospitals were named to the 2019 C-section honor roll. And this is the second year in a row that Madera Community Hospital has received that status. The only other hospital in the area of Fresno County to make the honor roll was Kaiser. Clovis Community didn't make it. Community Regional Medical Center did not make it, nor St. Agnes, nor Adventist Reedley, or Adventist Selma. No hospital in Tulare County made the honor roll. So that's really significant. And Madera Community C-section rate is 14.3%. Okay, I told you before they wanted it below 23.9%. We're at 14.3. So, I mean, that's way, way, way beyond what the minimum is. So I just like to take this time to represent and the Board of Supervisors and recognize Madera Community Hospital and their obstetricians who delivered Madera Community Hospital, Dr. Meyer, Dr. Ng, and Dr. Oju, who joined in March of '92, and I met him at that time almost 28 years ago. Well, it's 28 years ago. And again, a hearty congratulations from the Board of Supervisors. I can't really tell on that little picture who's there. I'm guessing that Karen, Veronica, Sherry are probably there, but if there's anybody else in the picture, I can't see you. So, but congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So all three doctors have joined us today. And I don't know, do you have a moment for maybe Karen or the doctors to add to your comments?
Yes.
Great. Karen, you want to start? Yeah. And I don't know if you can see me, but I just want to say how proud Madera Community Hospital is of our OB staff. We're very grateful and happy to have this great group of providers here serving our community and taking care of mothers and their babies. And this is a great award and a great acknowledgement, and we really appreciate the Board of Supervisors taking time out of your day to really acknowledge our position. I just want to thank you for doing that. Dr. Meyer, do you have anything to add?
No, just thank you very much for the recognition.
Dr.
Thank
Hayes?
you.
Thank you, and my goal is always to provide fabulous maternal care, so it's in alignment with that.
Supervisor.
Dr. Stu?
Supervisor Frazier would like to say something.
such a normal to us as much as we have to us. And we keep on doing the good work as much as we can. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
a couple of comments in closing. What's really important for the Board of Supervisors to recognize is that healthy birth is really an indicator of the future health of our community. And it really helps you in planning what's needed in regards to housing and other economic infrastructure. And so having healthy babies is a really, really good economic and health indicator for our county. And so we're super proud of our doctors for doing everything they can to coach moms through a healthy labor and delivery.
Thank you so much. Supervisor Frazier.
Yes, I just wanted to add in, and first of all, the lights make my head look a lot balder than it really is. But I wanted to add in, my wife is a labor and delivery nurse, and you know, when I first met her, I just thought, oh, what a wonderful thing, right? You just get to have these happy moments of bringing babies into the world. Like, what a great thing. And she's educated me very well on just how difficult and dangerous childbirth is. It is still the #1 cause of death for females in childbearing years. And so I just want to thank you for all you do, not just bringing the baby in healthy, but the mother as well. It's so important what you do, and it really is amazing. It's not just a fun experience where everybody gets to just welcome the new baby. There's a lot that can go wrong, and I just have so much respect for what you do and all the work that you put in. And a lot of times to be able to get it to this number, you know, you're laboring and pushing with the patients for, you know, days on end, and takes really a labor of love. And I really appreciate what you're doing, and congratulations on this honor for the 2nd year in a row.
Thank you, Supervisor Frazier. And I'm supposed to virtually give these certificates out. And by the way, the light makes my head look balder than it really is, but no, I really am bald. Okay, so I'm going to virtually submit these certificates to Dr. Charles Oju, and we have Jennifer Ng here and Jonathan Myers. And we thank you for your service to this community. And we'll make sure that we get these nice certificates to you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
My virtual handshake.
Thank you so much.
My virtual
handshake. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Meyer, without the S on your end, on the end of Meyer.
Good thing we have some time to correct the certificate.
We'll fix that. So directed. Thank you for being here virtually. Okay, item 6B.
6B, Social Services Department, presentation of a proclamation naming April 2020 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. Whereas each year, the month of April is nationally recognized as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. And whereas the Madera County Department of Social Services received over 2,697 referrals involving alleged maltreatment of children in 2019. And whereas the Madera County Department of Social Services remains committed to working with our community partners to protect and promote the safety and well-being of children and families to achieve family permanence, stability, and self-reliance. And whereas every child deserves the security of a loving and nurturing home. And whereas the Madera County Department of Social Services will continue its efforts to partner with the community to provide preventative child abuse programs and to increase public awareness of child abuse. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Madera, State of California, does hereby proclaim April 2020 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in Madera County.
Okay, thank you for reading that. We also want to note that along with this proclamation, the Children's Memorial flag was raised at the Government Center this morning. The flag is a public awareness campaign to reduce child mortality and abuse and is an annual event around the country. So we thank you for raising that flag. And Madera County takes our role in child abuse prevention very seriously. We consider our children and our elderly the most vulnerable and in need of protection in our society, and we care about those people and we want to protect them. So we make a great effort to go to that great lengths to do so. Thank you for this proclamation, and I don't have anybody to present it to you.
No.
So anyway, for those of you that are listening, know that we consider it an important,
Again, this is
serious event.
a very important time in regards to this too, because sometimes the home is the least safe place for some of these children.
That's true. That's true. That's a shame, because that should be a place of
Safety and
security
security.
and safety and protection for every child. Thank you for that comment. Any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public?
Good work.
Go ahead, Tom.
Just keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you. Any public comments, Rhonda?
No, Mr. Chairman, no public comment.
Okay. Item 6C.
6C, Community and Economic Development Department Planning Division. Discussion and direction to staff regarding immediately implementing a deferment of single-family dwelling permit fees until August 1st, 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Matt Treber, Chief of Development Services, here on this item. So this is a look at our permitting process within primarily the building division. And during this unprecedented time, we looked at an opportunity potentially there to ease the burden on some of our single-family dwelling permit fees. And so this, to be clear, is not a request to waive or reduce any of those fees. It's simply a request to look at when we collect those fees. Historically, those fees have always been collected at the time that they actually apply for the application. And then in some instances, it can take some time before those are actually ever issued. Or if they aren't ever issued, right, then there's a refund process. So what this request really addressing and looking at the COVID-19 impacts economically is to defer all costs for single-family residential units until an applicant comes for their final inspection. So they wouldn't be able to occupy, they can't get their final inspection until those fees are paid in full. This was laid out in looking at an appropriate time frame. We fell on kind of an August 1st, right? Obviously, we'll be reviewing and looking at this and the economy as we're going through and bringing items forward. But it was determined, right, those permits that are issued by now to August 1st, they will have been final by the end of next fiscal year, the 2020-2021 fiscal year. So it's not an impact to the general fund or the budget to defer those, right? Typical time frames for those constructions is about a 4 to 6 month time frame for the single family units. So we are here seeking direction from the board to implement this temporary process on our single family dwelling permits.
As a person intimately familiar with this process, I've built a number of homes in the county, hundreds actually, and through the years. And one of the benefits of this, of course, is that the construction loans that are taken out generally to build those, or even the use of any kind of loan in that regard, there'll be a no interest on that part during this period for them. And so it is a significant cost savings when you consider construction loans can range 10% or better during a process. And you go 6 to 8 months or longer, depending on the size of the home, to build a home. You're talking about a substantial amount of money in term for the permit fees that would be charged in interest. So this is a savings, and it is a help to people to get that part of the situation going. And I certainly support this. Matt, also, I don't want to convolute what you're doing here, but there was something you told me a couple of days ago about 750 square feet, was it?
Yes,
Would you share that with the public as well?
Sure. So that's on our, and we actually had a board item, which, to be fair, really was kind of the driver on some of the input we received last week at the board meeting on our contract with Mentir Harnish to update our zoning ordinance to address all the recent changes on residential units that have come down from the state level recently. So yes, those permits for a single family residence under 750 square feet are exempt from the payment of any impact fees, which is a substantial amount. So we cannot change, that's a change in state law, we cannot charge those single family units less than 750 square feet impact fees. So that's a substantial reduction.
Yeah, that helps with little mother-in-law places there,
Absolutely.
That kind of thing.
So I just wanted, so this deferment, this is for anybody that's coming in, not just home builders, but individuals that are looking to build on their property, the deferral of those.
That is correct. All single family, regardless of where they're located or who the builder is, right? If it's an owner or occupy, absolutely. So it's the proposal is to have a countywide look at this. So yes, it doesn't have to be, a merchant builder or a national. It's anybody would qualify for that.
And they wouldn't.
If something is built, never gets finalized and is just sitting out there until it gets finalized, those don't get paid, or does it get paid regardless of completion after a date?
So it would be paid. So what the thought process, and we looked at this internally, right, that we'll obviously flag these permits that we've issued in our system. It's a very good tracking process. So that we'll put a reminder and a prompt to say, hey, go check, because we do have a number of instances where we have a permit that's been applied for, right, in this instance, that has not paid fees. Staff has reviewed that, spent staff hours and time in doing that to issue that permit. And so we will absolutely have a mechanism to go back and pay those fees. Those fees will always be due. That's why we really limited it to a short, 90 days, a little over 90 days that we're looking at, and to just look at the single family dwellings. We looked at options for other permits over the counter, but those things are typically one inspection and you're done. So it doesn't lend itself to be able to defer those, right? Because we see those come in on the counter and they're done in, a couple days.
So would they pay their fees before the final inspection goes out?
Yes. So before a final inspection is scheduled, those fees will all have to be paid. Because once we do that final inspection, the house is occupiable. We're not out there anymore. So, but in the instance, I think Supervisor Frazier, specifically on your question, and I may be wrong, but you will obviously correct me. The question is, right, in those instances where we have a project get going and then it stalls and we don't have anything happen for 6 months or a year or 9 months, we'll still look to collect those funds by the end of the 2020-2021 fiscal year. So that's not an impact on the general fund.
Okay, good. And you said there's a mechanism that looks as a reminder. Is there a mechanism that doesn't allow a final certificate until those fees are paid, where it literally in the system won't put that out? Because I think that would probably be a good fail-safe.
Absolutely, and that's actually when we started looking at this. The system now does not allow us to print a permit until fees have all been paid. So that's defaulted now. So we just moved that default. My point in case, right? I don't want this all of a sudden being August of 2021 and we go, whoa, what happened here?
What I don't want is someone living in their home paid full boat for it, and then 6 months later we recognize that we didn't collect those fees, and then we send them a bill. Oh, by the way, you owe your permit fees.
Yes.
That is, I do not want that to happen. That would be,
Yeah.
I mean.
Matt, this is Max.
Yeah, Max, go ahead.
An excellent idea considering the economic situation that we're in. I think you're trying to help the new buyers out. I think it's great. Of course, you have to monitor it so nobody takes advantage of it. So I want to thank you for thinking ahead.
Yes, good comment, Supervisor.
Thank you,
Thank
Max.
you.
Yeah, Tom Wheeler, can I speak?
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. I think it's a great idea. Do they have to request it when they come in to get their permit, or will they just be notified by our staff?
They will be notified, and we will, following this, if the board so directs, we will provide notification and printouts at our front counter to, let the public know that they come in here of this program that's available.
Yeah, it's elective too, correct?
Yeah, if they want to pay,
Right.
we'll take
If a
the
builder
money.
wants to come in and pay it up front, then they can do that.
It's just an option.
Yeah, generally.
Right. So when they maybe we ought to advertise this some way in our social media or pit team or something, because I know a couple people is planning on building right now. I was just talking to a gentleman the other day who's getting bids right now, so I think that might be a little incentive to say, hey, let's get it going,
Yeah.
So if we could get that out, I mean, I hate to advertise some of this stuff, but I think this is very important. Madera County is taking that step forward to do that. And then maybe if this keeps going on longer, Matt, maybe we ought to look at reducing the fees for a time like we did before in the last recession.
Yeah, understood. We'll certainly be monitoring this process as we go through, and we'll be responsive to any requests and bringing the board forward any other items.
Yeah, I think it's, because during this time where people are out of work, not paying that fee up front can put another person back to work. It's not going into somebody's pocket. It's
Exactly.
putting somebody to work with that money, then we get paid back, and they get paid out of escrow at that point, where ultimately
Good point.
it's going to be.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead, Rob.
This is Rob. But I'm not opposed to this, and the fact that we're not, waiving fees, we're going to collect them at some point, that's good. We're going to at least cover our expenses, which we owe to the taxpayer. I'm just going to kind of be the contrarian a little bit right now, and I'm wondering if somebody should be building a house that's going to cost $250,000 to $300,000 or more, if $3,000 is going to be the tipping point, because you could have a $3,000 change order, several of them during the course of construction. So, I mean, I think it's a nice thing to do. And again, we're not waiving anything, but I think if we look at perspective as far as what a real project's all about and the cost of houses these days, it's, it's not going to stop anybody from building, and it's not going to cause anybody to start building. It's another one of those things where they're either in or they're not. So anyway, but again, I'm not against it. Just wanted to bring some perspective.
Yeah, I don't believe that, because Rob, I've talked to people that has not been able to do their house because they were afraid of the fees that we charge. And I said, well, it's not just us, it's everybody that charges them, no matter what county you go to. So I have had people say that. So I'm totally for doing that. And I know you are too, but sometimes that is a big hindrance. You're out here in the real world out here.
Well, I'm in the real world here too. So, I'm just saying that.
Out here in the country.
Well, I'm in the country too.
Yeah, I know you are, but you still, there's a difference, buddy.
Anyway, okay. Any comment from the public on this item?
I have not received public comment on this item, sir.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
I move to approve. I second it.
Okay, motion is made by Brett, seconded by Tom. Let's vote.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes,
Vote passes 5-0.
thank you. All right, item 6D.
6D, Human Resources Department, discussion and consideration of approval of a lactation accommodation policy for the County of Madera.
Good morning, Chairman,
Hello, good morning.
members of the board. Alba Gomez, the Director of Human Resources. Yes, Senate bill was effective this January 2020, went into effect, which requires new lactation accommodation requirements, including providing employees with reasonable breaks in appropriate facilities to accommodate those employees who choose to express breast milk at work. To comply with the new Senate bill, the county has prepared the attached lactation policy, which was presented to you for your consideration.
Okay. Any questions regarding this item?
Will that have to be done in every department, or just like one in the social services big new building, and one in our building, or how will they do that?
We have ones already in the departments and the buildings, right? So that we have one here already in the government center, and each of the departments will, if there's somebody that requests the accommodation, we will get the request and then look in, with the department itself to make sure that there's facilities available for lactation accommodations.
Okay.
All right. Any questions from the public or comments from the public on this item?
I haven't received any comments on this item, sir.
Okay, I'll hear a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and
Second.
by Tom. Vote.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes,
Vote passes 5-0.
thank you. 6E.
6E, discussion and consideration of approval of the COVID-19 employee leave policy for the County of Madera.
So this policy is obviously as a result of the COVID-19, and it's going to help us with all the requests and accommodations that we are trying to filter through the COVID-19 pandemic that we have going on. We drafted the policy along with County Council, and it's here presented for your approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have about the policy.
Okay, any questions on this particular item from the board? No questions?
I do want to notate that this policy will end December 31st, 2020.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, how many people are participating in this program?
How many
Do
people
we
are
have an-
participating in the leave?
I do not have an actual number, but we do have employees who are submitting time cards and requesting different accommodations. I think right now, no, we don't have an actual number, right, Michelle? I could not give it, but I'll get that back to you. I'll go back and look at how many time cards we received with actual requests for COVID-19.
Okay.
What are the, I know the policy spells out all of this, but what are the requirements for them to fall under this kind of leave? Just briefly.
So we developed a matrix that we send out to all departments, and basically there's 6 areas that they would have to meet, and I'll briefly just go over them really fast so you can have them for you. So the matrix specifies the employee either tested positive for COVID-19, or the employee is medically quarantined per a healthcare provider, or by the Madera County Public Health COVID-19 checklist. Either the employee is also self-quarantined due to potential exposure, not having any symptoms. The employee is self-quarantined, no symptoms, but they have a sensitive family member in the household. The employee is medically vulnerable, including persons over 65. The employee is caring for a COVID-19 positive immediate family member or member of the household, And the last one is an employee is on childcare leave due to a child school closure.
Do we require a doctor's note if the employee is claiming vulnerability?
We are requiring a doctor's note for those.
Okay, thank you. Any comments from the public on this item?
I've received no public comments, sir.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Motion is made to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made in second. Let's vote.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes,
Vote passes 5-0.
thank you. Item 6F.
6F, Human Resources Department. Discussion and consideration of approval of an emergency telework policy for the County of Madera.
Another policy, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, this is an emergency telework policy for the county. The policy is to ensure that essential Madera County functions will continue to be performed at alternate locations during the disruption of normal operations. This policy will be implemented in keeping with the mission of Madera County and the respective departments. The policy is an emergency policy, and the county administrative officer, in coordination with myself, will have the discretion to withdraw the policy as deemed necessary. So this basically will look at each request that comes in to telework and try to figure out what functions are being performed by employees, ensure that they're still going to be performing 40 hours a week work, and looking at our contingency plans as well to see if we have the equipment available to be able to provide them with telework availability. I also want to mention that I have scheduled 4 Q&A sessions this Thursday for management to go over each specific policy with them. And if you approve this last policy today, I will be sending the registration information to management so they can register for those sessions.
Yeah, it's my sense of this policy that this is not going to be the last we hear of this, and it's going to be a developing situation with telework. I think there's going to be a future of a lot of this kind of thing, and we're developing that right now. We're going to need to develop metrics as managers to make sure that the work is being done properly, that people aren't just slacking off and taking advantage of the county taxpayer. This is other people's money that we are using. We don't exist to provide people with a job. We exist to provide people with a service. And this is what we are here for. So we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing in developing these policies and procedures and metrics to keep this from becoming an albatross on the county's neck. And it's going to be incumbent on people, as we rely on their honesty, their trusting people to do their work, and to make sure that we are doing what we're getting paid to do. Supervisor Frazier.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think it's good that we're doing things to where we can for people to be able to work from home. I trust that our employees, when they come to work, they're here to work. They do it because it's what they love to do to serve the community. Serving the community is different now, and I know that they'll rise to meet that challenge. I know that that this isn't just a paycheck to Madera County employees. When you talk to them, you know that their heart is in the work, and so if that means they work from home, then they work from home, and they're still going to do whatever they can to make sure that their work is done in an effective manner. I think we'll also see some efficiencies gained by some of our employees that can do that work from home and maybe don't have some of the distractions that are at the office, because sometimes there's just as many distractions at the office as there are at home. So I'm proud of our employees. I know that I have every belief that when they're doing this work, that they will be doing the work and doing it to the best of their abilities. So I wholeheartedly support this.
And we're going to work with each department to go over the policies. Again, we're going to have the Q&A sessions on Thursday, but each department's going to be different, right? How they're going to telework, and we're going to go through each of those essential functions and try to develop something for each department to help them implement this policy as well.
Yeah, and there's going to be, there's always going to be somebody but I think our policy is good in that it focuses on trusting that, everyone is going to do what they're supposed to do. And so just making it about, you better do this, and you have to make sure that all this is, the work product is the most important part. It's, in my opinion, it's not always the hours that are put in to do the work, because hours can create busy work, and that doesn't always help everything. So the important part is setting the parameters around outcomes and what is expected from the work product, and whatever it takes to get to that work product is the important part, in my opinion.
Yes, you did a good job of putting the positive note on that, and I wasn't as.
You weren't being.
No, I know that, but I think you did a better job of. I just kind of voice that you did a better job of being more positive about that. I don't mean to be Machiavellian in my thoughts about people, but for those of you that studied management, you understand that term Machiavellian very well. But anyway, I do believe in human nature. I believe people will rise to their best, and I believe they'll do a good job. So thank you for that. Yes, public comment. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, right. Allergies. Tracy Kennedy, Madera County Treasurer Tax Collector. As a department that has been really impacted by other departments being closed, I do believe that there is some level of working at home, teleworking, and I think it's a real thing, and we've come to know that. And as long as there's enough oversight, and as long as there's enough administrative work to do is home. In my department specifically, of course, we are a customer-rich environment. If it's not the internal departments, then it's the taxpayers. And of course, we redirected hundreds of them to our Dropbox, so that was really good. But there were still hundreds that made it in to pay. And so anyway, so I think that there is a level of admin work. I think that there's some abuse going on out there, which hurts my feelings. And because I'm so sensitive, to that. And, there are departments like the 311 at the mailroom. They really are struggling, I mean, right now we're closed, right? I mean, the tax time is over. So 311 is in better shape, I think, the information booth. But I know the mailroom, they only are able to make like one run. And we're sending out thousands of reminder notices right now. So it's I would say that they could use some help maybe. And anyway, I just wanted to give you my 2 cents. That's probably not worth even 2 cents, but because we've been here. We found out who was essential, super essential, right, Darren? And so I appreciate that. That's kind of our lot in life, right? We know the money's got to be banked, it's got to be recorded, it's got to be reconciled. That's our lot. We know that. So admin leave or whatever is kind of almost a dream in that regard. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Worth a penny.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments on this item? Any comment from the public received?
No public comment on this item.
Okay, I'll hear a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion is made.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Let's vote.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras,
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Okay, any pending legislation?
Thank you.
Yeah, let's get this over.
We're almost there, brother.
Everybody stay home and get well.
No pending legislation. We do have, I just might mention under pending legislation, we do have a call coming up with the governor in a few days. So the Valley has a list, a blueprint of items that we'll be sharing with the governor's office in that phone call. Because of my wife's birthday, I've designated Supervisor Poitras as our voice on that phone call, and I've already been involved heavily in that content the last 6 months. So anyway, almost 6 months. What's that?
I said there's one other pending legislation.
Okay.
You can call that.
Go ahead and bring that forward.
Yeah, it's I talked to a lawyer in San Luis Obispo yesterday. The state, hey, you guys, be quiet. The state is come out within 10 days on new hemp. Dogs, God, come here. UPS drove up. That pending in 10 days, they're going to put a new law, rules on growing for California, for the whole state, and they should be out in about 10 days. So we get those out to help us when we do our ordinance.
Okay. I didn't quite catch everything there. You
were
barking, but
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I talked to a lawyer yesterday, and she in San Luis Obispo, and she said that the state is coming out with probably within 10 days new rules on hemp growing for California. They've never really done it yet, but they've been working on them, and she said they should be out in about 10 days. So it'll be very interesting for us to work on our ordinance.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And there was something else. Go ahead.
The supplemental package for coronavirus going through the feds right now.
Love the part, baby.
Needs to have money for the local governments.
500 billion.
Yeah. And it would have 3.5 billion for California counties in that. So CSAC is in support of that and is working hard for that. But that's and also we need to support the stimulus package for small businesses, keep everybody working.
Yes, we do. Yep. Small business is the hub of this country. I think it's something like 95% or 98% of the businesses are small businesses. It's huge. People don't realize small business runs this country. That's where the jobs are. The big institutions are great, but the small business is what runs this. Anyway, thank you for that update on that, Supervisor Frazier. Let's see, no more pending legislation. Supervisor and staff reports. Supervisor Frazier.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, I attended the RHA by teleconference, which is the Regional Health Authority. Quite interesting conversation there. But anyway, it's just everything's going critical. Everything. Supervisor Wheeler. Any report?
No, not really. Just staying home, staying safe, and telling everybody I'm trying to share everything I can that Sarah and Jay put out for the people, and I get good comments, bad comments, and in between comments. So
right,
just people are frustrated.
Yeah, people don't realize that we're so limited in what our authority is in this particular thing. So we have to just let them know that, hey, we can't make those decisions. It's a state level decision. And that's
right.
That's
I tried to explain it to them, but
yep. Yeah. A lot of frustration out there. Supervisor Poitras.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Supervisor Rodriguez.
Well, things are very critical right now. A lot of people want to go back to work. They want to start going back to work. I don't think it's time to do that. We have to be so careful of what we do in the future. One of the states that was protesting about staying sheltered, and the day after, 2 days after, there were so many infections in that group that it was pitiful. So I don't know. It's very, very difficult, and we're going to help. We're going to face critical decisions in the future.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There's so much about the virus that's unknown, and people just need to realize that we're going through a learning stage with this thing, and I think that there's going to be a lot of adjustment in the future. So anyway, thank you. Any report, Darren? Regina?
No report, Chairman.
Clerk?
Yes,
Rhonda?
Chairman, due to some technical difficulty, we did receive public comment under general comment. I'd
Okay.
like to go ahead and read that. It's from
Yeah.
Madeline Harris with the Leadership Council Organization.
Okay.
Good morning. I plan to make a live telephonic public comment by calling the number listed on the agenda, but was informed that I would need to request public comment by 8:30 a.m., just like written comments must be submitted by 8:30 on the day of the meeting. I will comply with this in the future. However, I would encourage the board to allow the contemporaneous public comment via telephone in case members of the public think comments they would like to make in response to the board and staff's discussion and presentations during the meeting. Additionally, on behalf of the members of the community with whom I work, I would like to remind the board that translation to Spanish and other widely spoken languages must be provided via a telecast and telephonic option for members of the public to view, understand, and participate in the board meetings. Additionally, regarding consent calendar item G, I want to inform the board that I work with members of the community who are very vulnerable right now due to COVID-19 related loss of income. These members of our community need emergency response dollars put towards assistance programs like cash assistance for housing, utilities, food, and other basic needs, and we urge the board to allocate COVID-19 response funds towards this end to ensure that Madera County residents who have experienced COVID-19 related loss of income are able to meet their basic needs during this crisis. Since my comment is coming to you after the adoption of the consent calendar, due to my inability to make a comment in real time, I request this comment be part of the record and forwarded to the county supervisors. I would love to be in touch with each county regarding ways that such a fund could be established to help Madera County residents in need. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me with any questions. Gratefully, Madeline Harris.
By the way, we do have the ability for public to phone in, and we've had that for the last few meetings. So
But we've asked them to phone in with their name and their number by 8:30 in the
Right,
morning, so
right.
then we can call them back.
right. So they do have the ability to phone in. And Madam Clerk, have we received any request for anyone to have Spanish translation?
Not to my knowledge, no, sir.
Okay, so that's a moot issue. All right, well, thank you very much. Anyone?
Dave.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
When she puts out the agenda on Fridays, that's the first thing that comes up right on there. And they are paying attention to us.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, just wait till the day of the meeting at 9 o'clock and say, "Oh shit, I can't do it."
Yeah.
You need to look at our agenda like we have to look at it.
Yeah,
People need to be involved. We can't hold everybody's hand.
Yeah, I think we can work with her through this between this time and the next time for any accommodations that need to be made. I think, and since it's not on the agenda, we probably shouldn't be pushing it forward. But I think you work with everybody that asks for those kind of accommodations, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we're happy to accommodate people. I want to commend Rhonda, clerk of the board, for the effort she's put into making sure that the public has their ability to comment. There is a lot of effort been put into that. We had a lengthy discussion about it, and we talked about ways that they could input. We have no desire to abrogate public input into this process at all, and we have made a special effort to make sure that they have a voice. Advertised it, put it on Facebook. The PIT team put it on Facebook. It's been out there pretty widespread. So this board wants to hear from the public, and we're ready to do so. Thank you very much. With that, this meeting is adjourned.
Let me get all